Stop bringing the same old side dishes. I've got 5 new side dishes with only 5 ingredients that'll have everyone singing your praises at the party. The side dishes I'm giving you today are all veggie sides, so no pasta salad or mac and cheese here, but these are all gonna be perfect for any potluck. I'm starting with the ultimate green bean side dish. Green beans for my family is something that everyone will eat. The 5 ingredients for this dish are green beans, bacon, brown sugar, soy sauce, and butter. I'm gonna start by cooking my bacon. I'm gonna cook it in the same pan I'm going to cook and serve the whole dish in. I cut my bacon strips in half. They're gonna get crumbled in, so it doesn't really matter. While the bacon cooks, we're just gonna make the sauce. This is so simple. I'm just gonna melt some butter and then stir in some soy sauce, brown sugar, and garlic powder. You'll get the salty flavor from the soy sauce and the bacon. And then of course the sweet from the brown sugar. This is about to be good. All right, bacon cooked. I'm just gonna take it out and give it a rough chop, and I'm gonna leave the grease in the pan. To the bacon drippings, in go your green beans. You could also add in onion if you want. Some sweet onion would be good in this. Toss those around. Okay, I'm gonna pour our liquid gold over the green beans. You know, hindsight is 2020. This is probably the perfect side dish to make in the aluminum pan that you can take to the party and then throw away. Okay, give it a toss and then put the bacon on top. This goes into the oven, 350 degrees. It's gonna take about 40 minutes or so. You want these to be smothered and sticky and juicy and delicious. You wanna toss it every like 15 minutes or so. I wish you could smell it. This is the side dish that you can bring to any occasion. It's the perfect thing to go next to your Easter ham, but it also works well with just burgers or chicken off the grill. Nobody's not gonna like this one. Every good party loves a crunchy and creamy coleslaw. So I'm giving you an easy creamy coleslaw. This is just a hit. You know, it's reminiscent of KFC's or Chick-fil-A's, but with way more flavor and a secret ingredient. Of course, you can just use a coleslaw mix. I love the tricolor, or you can just do a head of cabbage, some green onions, and the secret ingredient, some apple. This is gonna add that just delightful, crunchy surprise in every forkful. This is something you can make the dressing a few days in advance, chop up your veggies, and then just toss it with the apple just before serving. So I'm gonna put the greens and the whites of the green onion in here, and then the apple. You could just do the green apple or a red apple. I'm gonna do a little bit of both because why not? And then I'm gonna kinda chop it to where it kind of blends in with the cabbage. Just that little something special that are gonna make people be like, dang, why is this coleslaw so good? So probably 1 large apple per bowl of coleslaw would be good. I'm doing half of each. Of course, you don't wanna add this until just before tossing. The dressing will keep it from turning brown because it has some acidity in it. Creamy coleslaw starts with mayonnaise. To that, I'm going in with a little bit of vinegar. You can use regular white vinegar or apple cider vinegar works well in this. Some fresh lemon juice, and then some sugar. Creamy Southern coleslaw always has a little sweetness to it. And then just salt and pepper. All right, then just pour it over and toss. This is the perfect accompaniment to anything that comes off the grill this spring or summer. The apple. I don't know why we haven't been doing that the whole time. Pretty sure I'd be invited to the cookout with this. What do you get when you combine this pimento cheese with jalapenos and potatoes? You get the most delicious jalapeno popper potato casserole. Using tricks like this can save you on buying ingredients. This already has cream cheese, cheddar cheese, and mayonnaise in it. It makes the perfect binder for the casserole. So the 5 ingredients for this dish are simply the pimento cheese, bacon, potatoes of course, jalapenos, and then some pepper jack cheese. You're gonna start by boiling your potatoes. I'm using just a Yukon Gold potato and I'm gonna boil it in salted water. A shortcut here, you could just use like shredded hash browns if you want. While the potatoes are going, chop up your bacon and then just cook that up in a skillet. Next, you just wanna take your fresh jalapenos and dice them up. You can choose to use the seeds or not, depending on how spicy you want it. I'm gonna keep it more crowd pleasing and just get the jalapenos for the flavor. So I'm gonna take the seeds and ribs out. I will say using the fresh jalapenos over the ones in the jar that are pickled, that's gonna give you a little more of a bite, which I like, but it's also really gonna mimic that jalapeno popper flavor. If you want this a little milder, just use the pickled jalapenos. Once your bacon's cooked, just drain it on some paper towels and add your jalapenos into the bacon grease. I'm just cooking these long enough just to soften them, just a couple minutes. And now we mix everything together. I like to cook the potatoes until they're really soft. This is also how I like to do my potato salad, when they're almost like, starting to mash and break up on their own. Now this is when you want to add your pimento cheese. Remember, you got to get the kind with cream cheese as an ingredient if you really want to mimic the jalapeno popper flavor. And our jalapenos. Most of our bacon, I'll save a little for the top, and then some of that pepper jack. I'm gonna pop this into the casserole dish, and I am gonna give it a bake just so we kind of get some crusty bits. That pimento cheese really is the secret weapon here. It's got mayonnaise, it's got cream cheese, it's got cheddar cheese. It's the way to save on ingredients. This just goes into the oven until it's hot and bubbly, 375 for just about 20 minutes. This is the one. This is the one that everybody's gonna ask you to make again and again and again. Who knew pimento cheese was so powerful? Hands down, one of the best potato side dishes I've ever made. When I was thinking of all these side dishes, I was trying to think of vegetables that were the most crowd pleasing. So who doesn't love corn? This is a Greek-inspired version of the Mexican street corn salad. If corn is not in season, you can do this with frozen corn, so don't be dismayed. All right, the 5 main ingredients here are corn, feta cheese instead of the cotija cheese, parsley instead of cilantro, some cucumber for some extra crunch, and a little lemon, and then we just need a few pantry staples. You wanna start by shucking your corn and then putting it on the grill. You can also use a grill pan, and if you're using frozen corn, just heat up a skillet till it's really hot. You just want your grill to be really hot because you're not really needing to cook the corn, you just wanna get that flavor. While your corn cools off a little bit, just chop up your other stuff. I love using the English cucumber because you can just use the skin and all. And then I'm just gonna dice it up roughly about the same size as the corn kernels. You could also sub in some sweet bell pepper, tomatoes, red onion. If I wasn't on such an ingredient restriction, I would put all of that in here. But I chose the cucumber because it's gonna lend such fresh, juicy crunch to the salad. This is one you can totally make the day before. And the cucumber also reminds me of the tzatziki kind of flavor. All right, and then parsley, and then take our kernels off the cob. All into a bowl. I love the salty bite from the cotija cheese. Sometimes people use Parmesan cheese in the street corn version, and feta cheese really gives you that kind of salty, briny bite, so I just thought that would be so good, and this is really what inspired the whole side dish. So I'm gonna crumble that in there. Always better to get the feta cheese in the block versus already crumbled. It's a lot more creamy and flavorful. For the dressing, I'm keeping it reminiscent with the base of the elote corn salad with mayonnaise. I'm also gonna thin that out, kind of lighten it up with some fresh lemon juice and a little red wine vinegar. I'm also gonna add in a little smoked paprika to echo the grilled corn effect. A little salt and pepper to finish it off. This is so good. Cutting the cucumber like the size of the corn, you get all of it in each bite. It just burst with juicy flavorfulness. This is how I would plate it up. You're gonna add a little bit of the goodness right on top. So more feta, a little more parsley, and then a little sprinkle of paprika. The Greek street corn salad. That's a bowl full of flavor right there. For my final trick, I think you're gonna say, Nicole, what have you been smoking? But you're gonna have to trust me on this one. My cousin showed up to Easter one year with this dish, and I was kind of like, what in the 1970s, Grandma, is this dish? But now we request that she bring it every year. So here we go. I give to you copper penny carrots. This is sweet and savory, it's tangy, it's slightly crunchy, and it's the perfect complement to that holiday ham. The 5 ingredients here, listen, I'm gonna tell you one more time, trust me. Carrots, bell pepper, celery, onion, lots of crunch, and then the little secret, tomato soup. Couple pantry staples and we're good to go. So you're gonna start by slicing your carrot, and then the idea, is that they look like a penny, copper penny. That's why they're called copper pennies. This is also a very inexpensive side dish that feeds a ton of people. Besides being a dish that you can make in advance, you can also serve this one at room temperature. So this one's just like your no fuss, crowd pleaser, also something so surprising. Nobody else is gonna make this. You're not gonna be doubled up at the potluck. Then we're gonna take our carrots and we're gonna boil them until they're like just tender crisp. You still want the crispy crunchiness of them. In the meantime, we'll just chop up all our veggies. You want everything just kind of like diced so that you get a little bit of everything in each bite. All right, we're gonna make a delicious sauce to pour over the carrots. This is like where I know you're gonna get really skeptical, but if I like it, you'll like it. In goes a can of tomato soup, and then some white vinegar, some oil. It's less oil than vinegar, so that's how you get that nice pickle flavor. And then sugar. This is where I know it can be a little alarming. We're gonna bring this to a boil and cook it until all that sugar's dissolved, and then we'll just let it cool and pour it over our carrot mixture. All right, I just boiled them for about 6-7 minutes where there's still plenty of crunch. And I'm gonna add in the veggies that we chopped, and then I'm pour over the tomato soup mixture and toss. Not only can you make this ahead of time, you have to make this ahead of time because this dish is not ready yet. You wanna cover it and then refrigerate it for at least 8 hours. I give to you the copper pennies, the side dish you've never tried. Let's see how we did. Hear the crunch? I don't know who thought of this combination, but it just works. You're gonna surprise everyone with this one. Just make it. We did it. There's something for everyone in this collection. Hot or cold, all different veggies, I've got you covered. There's no excuse for bringing the same old side dish to the party this year. Let me know which one of these you're gonna try first. You don't need all those ingredients. 5 is all you need.